Welcome back everyone to the Audacious Money Witch channel, where we talk about investing and trading and a lot of fun things.
Interesting how many times we're still getting the question, oh, Roku's competing against Netflix and Disney and HBO. Not true. Don't know why that can't get through.
Expect Roku stock to go up huge. Why I took profit in Snap stock to buy more Roku. Once upon a time, Roku embarked on a journey to construct a cloud platform enabling users to search for content across various channels. Roku Cloud was becoming more and more powerful. The number of content and features was rapidly expanding. The quantity of media content soared from thousands to millions. Roku is building its own Apple's iOS operating system with a Google search engine on top, purposely designed for TV running on AWS. As their engineers call it, the Roku Cloud Platform. They just don't know it yet. Roku stock just got hammered again, down 10% after reporting a solid double beat. Two reasons why Roku is down almost 40% year to date. I will get into that first. Then I will compare Roku stock with my Snap stock and tell you why I decided to sell half of my Snap stock to buy more Roku stock shares. Of course, I will delve into this strong earnings, and I think Anthony Wood is not trying to sell Roku stock at all. He wants to keep it quiet, gain market shares, scale, and keep the growth of Roku OS going. For the valuation, if you think Roku stock was cheap a month ago, this earnings just made it a whole lot cheaper. A truly steal deal. Give me more. Why is Roku down 10%? First, we have the Walmart Vizio acquisition deal. The deal's waiting period under the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvements Act will expire on April 29th. We still don't know if the deal is done. Plus, we know Wall Street clearly doesn't like Roku stock because they don't understand it.
Every time I look at Roku, I want to sell it.
Then we have Roku's security monitoring systems detected that unauthorized actors had accessed about 591,000 Roku user accounts using login credentials, for instance, usernames and passwords stolen from another source totally unrelated to Roku through a method known as credential stuffing, which is cyber attacks where fraudsters use stolen usernames and passwords from one platform to attempt to log in to accounts on another platform. When investors look at a headline like this, Roku says 576,000 user accounts hacked after second security incident, it sounds bad. It sounds like Roku's platform got hacked, even though it's only a tiny fraction, 0.5 million out of their 81 million users' accounts got hacked using a credential stuffing. This just pushed the sentiment of the stock into an all-time low, where they put out such strong earnings and ended up down 10%. Which brings us into Q1 earnings conference call. As Anthony said, this year they are directing more of their attention to platform growth and innovation. He said every day the Roku home screen reaches US households with nearly 120 million people. The home screen is what a viewer sees before they select an app. During that process, they're exposed to advertising, and they'll see advertising on our home screen before they select an app. They might select an app that doesn't actually have ads in it. So Roku has the ability to reach everyone on the platform with the home screen, not just the people who select apps with advertising. This significant reach creates a lot of opportunity. He sees many ways to improve the user experience while also growing monetization for Roku. Total net revenue 19% year over year, both platform and devices, driven by the expansion of retail distribution of Roku branded TVs. ARPO was flat. More on ARPO later. Platform gross margin of 52% was stable year over year, while devices gross margin was negative 5%. Free cash flow was $427 million on a trailing 12-month basis, and Roku's balance sheet just got better out of this quarter with $2.1 billion of cash and no debt. This just boosted Roku's free cash flow yield to 5.28%, which is higher than a 10-year note treasury bond yield of 4.66%. This shows Roku's stock price today essentially has a huge margin of safety based on Ben Graham's Intelligent Investor's definition of margin of safety. Roku stock is now safer than 10-year treasury notes risk-free rate. For the second quarter outlook, CFO anticipated gross margin of 44% and adjusted EBITDA of $30 million. Our outlook for total net revenue growing 10% year over year. On the devices side, we expect margin to decline from negative 5% in Q1 to negative low teens in Q2. Said CFO Dan. Over time, those device margins will get better. Looking at the Roku channel, it offers 3 types of content. Primarily, AVOD, short for advertising video on demand, live TV, and premium subscriptions. In Q1 was the number 3 app on the Roku platform. That's pretty impressive. That's the number 3 app after Netflix and YouTube, and engagement in the Roku channel is up 66% year over year.
So right off our home screen, you can basically find every food show ever made, all your favorites, and be suggested in really personal and meaningful ways how to not just get offers like that from an advertiser, but how to find just a click or two away your favorite shows in any genre, in this case, food. When I say it's huge, the scale of the platform that Anthony Wood envisioned, he's the founder. Roku, by the way, is the number 6 in Japanese. It is his 6th company. He is a visionary, and he said all TV will be streamed, and he said it long before it was cool. Almost half the country gets their television through Roku, so that the platforms, by definition, are bigger than the pieces. And what's remarkable is the pieces, each of the apps, are by definition not going to grow in the same way the platforms will. You get right down to today, what do you have? iOS versus Android, 2 operating systems. But a computer on your wall now, the one hanging in your living room and your bedroom, we are the number 1 TV operating system in America.
You're the gateway that makes sense of this ever-expanding universe.
Yeah, we host the experience of television. And as a creator and a programmer, the programs that my team are working on are phenomenal original programs, and we'll build a lead-in for them. But we're going to be the lead-in to most of television, if not all of television. And that is an incredibly powerful thing. People are not loyal to apps and shows in the same. I look at my own behavior and I say, I love Hulu, but I probably go to Hulu 4 or 5 days a month. And I love Netflix, but I probably go about the same there. How often do you turn on your TV? And we are not in the streaming wars, meaning we are not spending $20 billion and losing money. What we are, the streaming wars are playing out on our platform. So I'll say it again, Roku is not in the streaming wars. The streaming wars are playing out on the Roku platform. And I'd like to make sure Roku actually builds things that are good for the consumer, good for the business, and then good for the partners so they bring us their passion projects. And that's going to happen more and more.
For the flat ARPO, average revenue per user, the reason it's flat is that Roku is in their scale and engagement phase. They are starting to monetize in areas like Mexico and continue to monetize in areas like Canada, UK, and Germany. But essentially, a lot of international growth have a lower ARPO. Looking at the US in isolation, US ARPO was up year on year, and then mixed in international, it becomes flat for the total company. In Mexico, Roku has now achieved 40% market shares for TVs. Ultimately, they will monetize internationally. That should improve international ARPO over time. For the Walmart Vizio deal, Roku have spent the last 15 years building America's #1 TV streaming platform and the brand. And their users love it and ask for Roku. And many have multiple devices in their homes. Like I said, Roku is way cheaper than Vizio now. So why did I sell half of my Snap shares? Well, I like Snapchat. I love their lenses, very cool and unique. Their free cash flow yield is negative compared to Roku's 5.3% yield. Snap's balance sheet have more debt than cash. Snap's debt to equity ratio is higher than I wanted. Lastly, Snap is now worth 3 times a Roku's value. So I took profit and I put it into Roku. Roku has an iconic home screen that differentiated and recognizable, different from their competitors. And you should remember that the one thing all viewers see when they turn on their TV is Roku's home screen. And Roku's ads are clearly placed in an uncluttered ad environment. So Roku literally had the privilege of engaging viewers before they chose what to watch. Roku has a large media and entertainment business. And good news is they're really good at it. And Roku is really the best place for marketers to build audiences. So simply put, Roku builds content companies, businesses like Disney, Netflix, and so on. Roku is also growing engagement and monetization by creating new experiences on the home screen. In Q1, Roku launched a new virtual showroom that allows viewers to explore product options on the Roku platform. Advertisers can drive viewers to the showroom via ads on our home screen. Why is Roku OS 13 the best OS for my TV? Because it's an operating system that's been purpose-built from the ground up for streaming entertainment. Unlike software initially built for phones and then adapted for TVs, that includes easy search features to find your favorites or discover new entertainment. Convenient voice search and control, including support to work with Siri, Alexa, and Hey Google.
Hey Roku, where's my remote? Game changer. I have a recommendation for you. If you're making your decision based on user interface and remote features, go with Roku. The company's Streaming Stick 4K Plus comes with 2 programmable buttons, and you can use them to create shortcuts to your favorite apps or your favorite TV shows. And with Voice Remote Pro, you can talk to it. It's even rechargeable, but it's the Find My Remote feature for me. That sealed the deal. I don't like that Chromecast remotes require AAA batteries. And Apple has technology to find missing laptops, iPhones, and AirPods. So why can't I use that to find the new Siri remote?
When it comes to sideloading or jailbreaking, you can't put a VPN on it directly on the device. Roku has its own SDK for the actual apps, so it's not specifically running off of the standard Android interface. So standard Android applications do not work. That's why people can't install a downloader on it to jailbreak, but they can easily do that with Android TV and Amazon Fire Stick, so that they don't have to pay for service on those Android-based OS. This is one of Roku's very powerful moats that no one is talking about or even knows about. Analyst from Morningstar was actually talking about Roku having no moat. Clearly they don't understand tech. They have MBA, CFA, but they just don't get it. Roku's mission is to be the streaming platform that connects and benefits the entire TV ecosystem around the world. The one way to achieve that mission is to deliver the best quality of experience for the millions of users of Roku streaming devices. So that's why I sold my Snapchat to buy more Roku, because Roku stock will only go up from here.
Roku's ad exposure is in the scatter market, what's called, it's really the real-time ad market. It's not in the upfront market. They're going there. I think they had $1 billion in the last upfront market, if I'm not mistaken, maybe more. But the scatter market is very sensitive to economic dynamics. And interestingly, it's been down and out for a while here, at the same time that Roku's revenues have been increasing. And when I say down and out, I think one quarter last year, scatter was down more than 35%, and Roku was basically flat. That's a huge share gain. It just gives you a sense of how much share is shifting to connected TV. And sure, we need a good advertising market, I think, and good economic conditions for Roku's revenues to really shine.
All of the ad dollars flowing into these AVOD services, so Netflix is advertising tier, HBO Max, Disney, all looking to bring in ad dollars to the ecosystem. Over time, Roku has the ability to take up to almost 30% of the ad load. So in the same way that Apple takes a cut of share from different applications in the mobile space, Roku is going to have the ability to do that within the advertising space. And that's why we're so focused on that difference between 25 billion and 65 billion still locked in linear. Because as that flows to where the eyeballs are, and they absolutely are watching streaming more than ever before, Roku will have the ability to monetize that across the entire ecosystem. So it's not picking one individual player, Netflix, HBO, Disney, and betting on their success. You're betting on the success of the entire industry, CTV as a whole, when you look at Roku specifically.